My name is Colleen and this is Arcana Rising. Welcome to December 2018. These readings are for all the fire signs, so Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These readings are for you, or this reading is for you, because I'm going to combine them all this month for December 2018, only because I'm also doing the yearly readings as well, and it's become a lot, so I thought this would be the best way to combine them all to make sure that I have these up in time. I know these are already late, so I like to have them up either a few days before the next month or at least on the 1st, but it didn't quite work out this month, and that's okay. So I'm just shuffling the cards, and I'm going to focus on the fire energy. And this is for sun, moon, and rising. So if you feel like you resonate more with a certain sign in your chart, you know, you can refer to this reading as well as the other ones. And it goes the same for all of my other readings as well on this channel. So a lot of great things have been happening for me lately, which is wonderful. I have some news to share with you guys, but I think I'm going to announce it in the yearly readings. So definitely check those out when I put them up. And those will be individual monthly readings for each individual sign. Oop. I just saw one, but it got lost in there again. Okay, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to angle the camera down so you can see the cards, and then we'll talk about everything individually. And I'm just going to zoom in so it's easier to see with this pattern. And I'm going to turn these around. I wish I had my crystal pointer, but I actually broke it recently. Oh well. Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups. And what I'm feeling, is I'm overgiving this month. I'm sorry, I have to look at them. I'm feeling a need for either overcompensation or feeling like I'm not being recognized for, I'm not receiving the acknowledgement for my efforts. I feel like I'm not, and I feel like I'm not enough. So this is interesting with this fiery energy. So it kind of goes from like, yes, everything's great and I'm feeling acknowledged and things are awesome, and then all of a sudden I'm dealing with these financial stresses of unworthiness. And then we have a desire to give again or reconnect with your past. So it's like going into like this nostalgic kind of feeling of like what it used to, you know, almost like where did I go wrong, or what am I doing now that I should be doing differently. Kind of like a little bit of a self-review, but more so along the lines of I'm just going to be overgiving, or a little bit naive in what's being offered to me. And then we have I'm moving forward with something that I'm not quite ready to move forward with. So let me just flip these over again. Oh, now these are all mixed up. Okay, because I just have to like look at them myself. Okay. So I would just check that you are in an energy of giving and receiving. Like balancing that energy of giving and receiving, I think, is really important in the beginning of the month, and not looking to just take from people, and not just being like, look what I did, you know, where's my reward? Almost like, where's my acknowledgement? You're not giving me the credit that is due for everything that I've been doing. Almost like someone that volunteers once and then wants to like brag about it and thinks that they should be like held to higher standards because they volunteered that one time. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit of ego here. You know, there's an ego in this giving and receiving kind of energy, and not really doing it for the right reasons, or more so doing it for selfish reasons, or not, just not feeling like I'm receiving the acknowledgement that I should be receiving. Like I want to receive and not give authentically. Or there's just something about like your ego being blown to higher proportions, or just being over giving of your overly generous with your finances could also be another thing. So it could be one extreme or the other of like, you know, what am I getting out of this? And like, I'm so great, you know, give me what I deserve kind of energy. I feel like I deserve these rewards, or I deserve this or that, or this promotion or whatever. There's like a deserving feeling. But then there's also like, I'm so great and I'm so rich and look at me, and I'm just gonna like throw my money around because I'm doing so well, and I'm like rubbing it in people's faces, and you know, I'm in the spotlight because I've got so much money, look at me, you know, kind of thing. So just either way, it's being in that ego energy. And then something happens, or it's more of like we're going in, like we're going backwards. We're taking a step backwards and looking at like what happened between, like what, there's something about going backwards to the past, just because we have the Six of Cups here, which is like a very nostalgic kind of energy. But also, it's just interesting that we have the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles right next to each other. And it just feels like you're going backwards instead of forwards on your journey. It's like, because you're getting so sucked into your ego, the universe is going to push you back to where you were before to relearn the lesson about generosity and about the balance of giving and receiving. So it pushes you back into this energy of, you know, feeling like I don't have enough, or unworthiness, or something happens that triggers this energy to come up within you, and all of a sudden you're feeling left out in the cold, or feeling like everyone has all these great things and I have nothing, or you know, not appreciating what you currently have in your life, instead of, you know, constantly sticking your hand out wanting more kind of energy. So we're like taking a step back and going into like this, it's like a humbling kind of energy, like forcing you to you know, really be grateful for how far you've come, and understanding that, you know, everything is temporary, nothing is permanent. So even though you're doing super great right now, you could be in this position tomorrow. You never know. So you want to like keep that reality check going on and appreciating how far you've come, and then approaching the generosity, give and take energy with a different kind of, you know, with a different kind of energy, like not being greedy, but being more humble and compassionate, rather than, you know, sucked into this energy of like, what am I getting out of this? But more of like, how can I serve? You know, what can I do to make this better for this person or whatever? But like, not like bending over backwards for people, but you know, the best way to achieve happiness is to, you know, bring out the happiness in others around you as well. You know what I mean? So there's like this energy of like kind of going backwards and almost relearning, you know, the purpose of the material world. And then as you're going backwards, you're going back into this energy of like, it's like we're learning again. So I feel like this is a different kind of energy. I mean, the energy here and the energy here is much, much more different. So like here it's, you know, generosity with like a hint of like ego. And from here it's generosity coming more from the heart and more authentic, like coming from a place of equal, you know, I'm equal to this person rather than I'm above this person. Do you know what I mean? So there's like a huge difference in the way this energy is portrayed in the giving and receiving this month. And this is very interesting because it's December and there's all of these holidays going on this month, and like everybody's getting gifts for everyone. So it's definitely interesting to see there's like gift giving here, or like gift receiving going on here. And then also trips down like memory lane, going backwards. Maybe like you're doing really well and then you're brought into a situation that makes you feel less than, and then learning the lesson to just let that go and then just embrace the spirit of the holiday that you celebrate, and giving from the heart rather than feeling like you have to spend an arm and a leg for somebody, or feeling like you have to prove yourself to your family members. And that could be something that's going on here as well. And then once you get into this, there's lessons that are being learned here. There's definitely something karmic going on here. And that's why you're being pushed backwards. I'm picturing like a game board. Like, I can't think of a game, but for instance, like you're this game piece and you've moved forward one spot with this one, and like almost like Monopoly, yeah. And you've got all these houses and you've got all this money, and then something happens and you got to go to jail and pay all these fines or whatever, and you have to go, like you move one square back, and then all this stuff happens and you lose all of your savings and you lose all those houses that you like built up and all these things, and then you're back to square one. And then it's like, okay, how do I approach this differently? You know what I mean? So I don't know, that was just like a example, or so, it was just coming up in my head, this board game idea. But definitely getting into this energy of compassion with generosity, also being cautious of what's being offered to you this month, because it may be something that is definitely worthwhile, I would say, in the second half of the month, but not taking off with it right off the bat. You know, sitting with it, and, you know, making sure that you learned your lessons earlier in the month, and understanding what is being offered to you before you take off with it, because it's saying you're not ready to attack this giant monster just yet. It's like, let's slow it down, because you're going to feel I feel like you're going to feel some pretty strong energy towards the end of the month that's like really motivating and pushing you. And probably because it's the next year is coming, and January is coming, and then all these resolutions people are making, and like, this next year is going to be so much better, and I've got all of these plans and goals and stuff, and I'm going to take off with them right off the bat. But I'm telling you to wait before really taking off here. Wait before taking off here, because you need to decide. You really need to get your goals in order before you start. You need to plan those steps before just taking off, because that's when things start to get a little hairy. If you just act first and think later, that's kind of what I'm feeling with this right here. Acting first, thinking later. So also keeping that in mind in personal relationships as well. You know, pausing, you know, reflecting, and making sure that you are, you know, really thinking things through before you act upon them towards the end of the month. But I feel like something good is going to be happening in the third week of the month, and probably because all those holidays are right around that time. So it's definitely a really good feel-good energy. Something's going to be offered to you that is probably going to be really great for you. Or you're just going to be feeling refreshed in a way from this specific week, and that's gonna kind of fill you up again after this, going through this week, which seems a little bit stressful here. This week is a lot softer and calmer, and it fills you back up with that fiery energy. And then you're going to want to take off right away. But it's saying to just, you know, take your time. Use that energy to plan. To plan where you want to go next year, but don't start any projects just yet. Okay? I mean, you can start projects in the planning stages, but I don't feel like it's ready to really take off or put it out into the world, like not posting it on social media just yet. Things like that, I would hold off. But, you know, you can begin the project through the planning stages, but don't put it out into the world just yet. So that's your reading for December 2018. I hope that you enjoyed it. That's close. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate all of you. I hope you have a wonderful, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, happy solstice, and Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Take care. I'll see you next year. Bye-bye.